So, my gosh. I always like to make two videos just to see what's going on. And this is something that I've been wanting to like really get into, and I've talked about in the past, right? There's this issue in the gay community, right? When it comes to fetishization. Did I say that right? Fetishization, right? Um how can I put it? So I was on Reddit, right? I'm a Reddit guy. I'm a Reddit guy. I'm a Redditor, right? I'm an incel, right? I hate women. I hate men. I hate the world, right? I was on Reddit, right? And I was on like two different sites, right? And I was on the one for gay black dudes, right? So I'm looking at, the Reddit, and it's specifically for gay black dudes, like gay black men, right? And I'm scrolling, right? I'm scrolling, I'm looking at it, ass thick, grown. Hey, that's my nigga, that's my nigga, that's my nigga, that's my nigga. I'm scrolling, and all of a sudden I see something, and I'm like, is that a very light skinned black man? I said, oh no, they have a big dick. Oh, okay. I said, I moved away, then I stopped mid scroll, and I was like, well, let me go back. I really want that black ass. That's a white man. Well, it was just one. It was just one. So then I keep scrolling. There's my nigga. That's my nigga. That's my nigga. That's my nigga. And then I see another thing, and I was like, I want that BBC daddy, and it's a white man. I stopped and I said, huh. But if I look at the title of the subreddit, it says gay black boys, not white, not interracial, and sure as hell not race play. So then I go to one of the other ones, right? Okay, that was the other one, right? And I look at it and I see, this one's for gay black bears, right? I'm scrolling. Okay, that's my nigga. That's my nigga. That's my. Huh. I said, is that a bit? Maybe they have albinism, right? Maybe they're albino. I said that looks like a white ass. I said, huh? I said, what's going on? Let me get that BBC daddy. I said, huh. Well, it's just one. It's just one. Look, that's my nigga. That's my nigga. I see another one who's white. I said, okay, huh. So then I look at, the black app, right? I deleted it now because I'm like, niggas don't like talking to other niggas. I genuinely think that people just be swiping and swiping, and then when they get results, they're like, I guess. Like, bitch, fuck you. But at the same time, I understand. So I was on the black app. Most of it is black people because it's literally an app for black people. But every once in a while, I would see a white man on an app for black people. Then I sat there and thought about it further. I said, I looked at my past videos, and it was about racial programming, right, and racial representation, and then the subgenre of racial representation within queer media. And I remember looking at the new Finn and Fiona, or Cat and Fiona, I forgot what it's called, thing, and I remember looking at the gay characters, one of them white and one of them black. I said, okay. Then I looked at another story with gay representation. One of them white, one of them a person of color. And then another one of them white, one of them person of color. And another, one of them white, one of them person of color. Then white, 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 one of them white, one of them another person of color. And I said, there's so many of that I feel like the consensus of this situation would be, well, you know, that we should be happy because we're having representation, right? We should be happy because we're having representation. We should stop being greedy. We should stop sitting there having all of these issues because we're having representation, and interracial relationships matter. Interracial relationships do matter. Yeah. Yeah, all relationships matter, but interracial isn't just a white person and a person of color. I really wish people would understand the full extent of what interracial means. Interracial is not just take a white person and then put them with somebody who's a person of color. And I feel like Hollywood doesn't get that shit, and it's really fucking annoying. Every time I look at a gay relationship, I roll my eyes because every single time it's a white person with some person of color. I said, do y'all not try to switch it up at least every blue moon? Hell, fuck it, every red moon, every what's the rarest moon they have? Every 100 fucking years, can you sit there and give us something new besides interracial with a person of color and a white person? The reason I have an issue with it is because I started to connect the dots because I think about a lot of different things in my life, and I realized the first time I was exploring my sexuality, right? And I was looking at porn. And I realized one of these days, I was kind of like, I noticed that when I type in gay porn, it was a bunch of white gay dudes, right? But then I had to go to specific types of niches to sit there and look up black man, black gay this, and gay Asian this, and gay Hispanic this, and poppy this, and Asian twink this, and all of these different types of subgenres for everyone else. However, for white people, it's just gay. I didn't really think about that in the grand scheme of things. You know, I kind of was like, "Oh, that's interesting," but I didn't really think about the full extent of what that meant in terms of the power dynamics within the gay community. It made me realize, like something I've always said, Brokeback Mountain came before Moonlight, okay? Brokeback Mountain came before Moonlight. What does that mean? What I'm saying is that a lot of the representation for gayness has always been whiteness, right? A lot of the ability to have these stories, traumatic stories. I'm not going to sit there and make it seem like they're all beautiful and romantic, but a lot of it is surrounded by whiteness. And I felt that that was kind of annoying because not only did that play a part in the dynamics within the LGBTQ community, but then also it is this constant thing because I can't just blame white people, right? I don't think that's fair because a lot of it is coming from people of color, specifically black, because I'm a nigga, coming from black men who uphold this ideal that somehow if you fuck a white man or if a white man fucks you, that gives you worth because you think being a fetish is somehow also seen as being worthy. And then if you critique this, somehow you're jealous because you weren't the one that got picked, as if there isn't other niggas around here with big dicks. And so at the end of the day, I find it so unfortunate to be a part of the LGBTQ community and that be something that plays out. At first, I didn't really question interracial like that. I thought, I rolled my eyes, people was like, oh, girl, interracial, white people. I was like, girl, let people be interracial. Like, let the girls do what they want to do. Let the girls, I love you so much. I hate you so bad. Let the girls have their little fantasy. Let the girls, but after a while, I was kind of like, yeah, this is a problem. It's even more of a problem too when you think about in terms of different types of communities, especially with people of color, how they think that a lot of homosexuality is whiteness. Now, I'm not going to justify the homophobia and say, well, that gives them a reason to think so. But I am going to sit there and say that a part of the reason why is because a lot of the representation of what it means to be queer is white. What it means to be desirable is white. I didn't even really think about the intricacies of that, right? When I was listening to black women, right? Black women, I'm always on different forums. I listen to different things on social media platforms about black women talking about black men for the 100th time, and I roll my eyes, but I'm kind of into it because I'm like, girl, saying. And so I listen to a lot of the stuff that they're saying, right? And they go on and on and on, right? Black men do this, black men ain't shit. Okay, this is a black king right here, da 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 da, high value, low value. Shit straight people talk about for that I don't know how long. And so, I see this, I see this. Hold on, I'm trying to get my thoughts together. Lord, I lost my train of thought. Damn it. I see, okay. I see a lot of black women sit there and talk about these things. And one of the things that caught my eye several times that black women have talked about a lot is that how a lot of black men, not all, let's say it, disclaimer, not all, in parentheses, not all. They would sit there and they would say they don't like fat, right? They don't like fat black women. They don't like ghetto ass black women. They don't like black women that act stupid. They don't like black ratchet woman. They don't like black. And then you would see a white woman that's fat. Or you would see a white woman that acts ratchet. Didn't even grow up in the hood. If they did, still be corny, but don't have any authenticity to the way they act. You would see all these different things, and you would think to yourself, you would be like, I thought you don't fuck with people like that. But it's not that they don't fuck with people like that. It's that they don't fuck with people like that who look like them. And that is such a sad reality in the state of dating, not only in the queer community, but in the heterosexual community. Now, mind you, yes, there are black people who get together love. Yes, black on black, black on black. Yes, the girls love each other. Yes, it's a very real thing. However, that's a fucking problem. Because to me, yes, both sides have to take accountability. The white people have to take accountability, and black people have to take accountability, right? Because my problem is, how many times are you going to allow a white man to feel comfortable enough to sit there and even feel the need to sit there and say he's going to dominate you? Dominate the way that you act. I'm gonna expose myself. I used to sit there and look at race play. Doja Kitty didn't even know that. Well, what you made for? Didn't even know it. Acuna made. Yes, 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 Your Honor. Off with your head. Yes, Your Honor. Tell the truth or forever hold your peace. Yes, I used to look at that bullshit. Yes, because let me tell you why. I had no self esteem, no self worth. I did not love myself. I did not like myself. And any type of man that comes in and saves me and helps me and guides me and fucks me and tells me I'm worthy, and he's any type of man, especially if it's a white man, right? Because the black man growing up used to sit there and call me out of my name. The black man used to sit there and make me feel bad for being homosexual or being fruity or questioning my sexuality. The black man did this. And so I could easily sit there and justify the reason of me sitting there jacking off at 3 o'clock in the morning, listening to an obese white man sit there and fuck a black man and sit there and say, that's my favorite nigger. At the end of the day, though, I had to wake the fuck up and realize, baby, you need to sit there and have some self-worth because this is not going to work. And so I'm not saying this to sit there and say that I'm better than somebody. No, quite the opposite. I'm saying this as someone who has been in that particular position, that particular mindset, that I understand what's going on. However, enough is enough. That's what I'm saying. Right. That's what I'm saying. That's how I feel about it. Because nobody wants to have a conversation about it. And the straights are not going to have a conversation about it because the straights don't know what the fuck is going on. They still somehow having histrionics that they saw a rainbow onesie in the Target aisle during Pride Month, and they're creating conspiracies and narratives that everybody and their mama is turning gay. And I'm like, well, girl, where they at? Where they at? As if everywhere is some part of Atlanta, as if everywhere is some part of LA or some other city or major place that supposedly has a major historical or gay community or some bullshit like that. They're where they at? They're nowhere to be found. Because in reality, most people are heterosexual. That's why we are considered a minority. So, I don't know. I just, again, when I talk about the media representation, when I talk about the different things within like dating apps and dating life, I see how a lot of black men prioritize white bodies, and it makes me sad. It'll be one thing. The reason people are upset, or a lot of black people may be upset, or black people are vocal, is not because some of it is jealousy. Let's talk about it. Yeah, some of it's jealousy, but at the end of the fucking day, though, a good amount of it is that you sat there and said that you like, black people, right? Or that you fool with black people, you cool with black people, you cool with your people. We have a whole white dude, right, who doesn't even meet the standards that you put onto people who look like you. And that to me is also another thing I feel like that has hurt not only me, but a lot of black dudes, whether you accommodated or whether you switched it up, whatever the fuck you did, right? You could do whatever the hell you want. You grown, baby. You grown. But I just think that there's a lot of issues where I remember one day I was kind of confused because I kept hearing every now and then in these particular spaces, again, black love is still existing. Black queer love still exists, child. But I remember sitting there thinking to myself, I was like, that's so odd to me. Like, it's odd to me how you look at someone who looks like yourself and somehow you get nauseated by it. Somehow you can't really see it as attractive. To me, there's something psychologically going on in it. I'm not even trying to act like I'm like an intellectual beyond my years. I'm sitting there saying that like just on the surface level of it, there's something psychologically wrong with that you cannot seemingly be with someone who has the same complexion as you. There is something odd about that. And if we keep denying that, and if we keep sitting there making it seem like that is not something that matters, we're doing ourselves a disservice in this supposed LGBTQ community. We're doing ourselves a disservice if we're not going to sit there and talk about the anti-blackness, especially not only we understand it from white people. Okay, that's universal. Everybody know colonialism, slavery, da 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 da, all this other bullshit that we know about, we heard about for I don't know how many years. Okay, we get it. Okay, the sky's blue. Move on. But when it comes to, when it comes to a lot of this bullshit, I get really riled the fuck up and I get really annoyed because when I started to notice that, I said that's got to get nipped in the bud. Because when I see a white man, right, and I see a white man, and a white man goes around and he sits there and he says, "I want the BBC," and he sits there and he says that he really likes black men, he likes black boys. The reason I don't take that as a compliment, especially if they're a dominator, is I don't want a white man to dominate me. I'm a sub. I'm very submissive when I want to be. Excuse me. I'm a type of person who likes to be submissive, but I do not want to be submissive to a white man. No offense, and it's not because I don't find white men attractive. Anyone to me really can be attractive because technically that's how attractiveness works. Attractiveness is not just based on one race. That's why white supremacy is so fucking stupid. Because in the reality of things, anyone could be attractive, quite literally. And so just like anyone could be ugly, anyone could be attractive. So I just don't understand why. Well, I know why. For some reason, the historical context of it, why they felt the need to prioritize only their race. But I just think it's really fucking stupid. But when we really sit there and we talk about, just desirability and sexuality and all of these different things, I also think for a lot of black men, from what I see, the reason they're not as free as white men, because yes, white men, they go through homophobia because they're gay. They're still gay, right? They go through homophobia, body issues, all this other stuff that other queer people go through. And some people actually don't go through that, right? It varies for different type of people and different types of issues. I think, though, for people of color, there's this inclusivity of your, race and your sexuality, right? That's why they always say, what comes first, your blackness or your gayness? What comes first? I don't know about the other communities, but I include them. Your Asianness or your gayness? What comes first? Your Latinaness, your Hispanicness, or your gayness? What comes first? Your indigenousness or your gayness? What comes first in the grand scheme of things? What comes first? This particular type of culture or this particular type of culture? What comes first? And people do not like to intersect the two. They don't like, it's either some people say, well, black first and then I'm gay. Some people say gay first and then I'm black. Some people, they don't really know what the hell's going on. At the end of the day, I think it's sort of, in a reality, it's a mix of things. You can never really have one come first over the other because, yeah, you could see that I'm black before I'm gay, but at the same time, can you? Because if I come in a certain way and I'm acting a certain way, you're most definitely going to see that I'm fruity as the same time you're going to see that I'm black. And so at the end of the day, when we're sitting there talking about the systems of I guess the ideas of identity, right? and what it means to be identified as this particular type of thing, or what it means to have a particular type of presentation. I just find it so interesting and so fascinating because I had to realize, as much as I do get annoyed, I do roll my eyes, I do kind of want to cuss them out, I do kind of want to be like, bitch, sometimes like go jump in traffic. Like I'm gonna keep it, I'm gonna keep it above. When I look at people who are coons, who I look at people who I do see uplift a group of people who historically, not saying that that means every white person now should be blamed, but who uplift people who historically do have a part in putting their people down and not understanding what that means in the grand scheme of things. I've literally there was literally a clip, this beautiful black man, beautiful, very very beautiful, and he was with a white man, and the white man, okay, I'm not trying to be rude, but he wasn't attractive, right? He wasn't conveniently attractive. And that's the thing that I'm saying they don't keep the same energy with everybody, and that there is a specific type of wiggle room for white people. I just noticed that they don't keep the same. You will never be able to escape the need to align yourself with the stereotype in terms of desirability, and of course desirability equating worth within the LGBTQ community. You will never truly be able to escape that as a person of color. I mean, you wouldn't even be able to escape it as a white person, really. But at the same time, I noticed that there's particular wiggle room. I said, how can this person who's conveniently attractive, right? Because let's be real about it. Let's be real about it, right? A lot of people look at me, they won't think I'm conveniently attractive. And then they looked at me back in the day when I was a bit heavier and had more low self-esteem, they wouldn't think that I'm conveniently attractive, right? And so at the end of the day, there's a specific type of currency within the LGBTQ community, just like within the straight community, but even more so within the LGBTQ community, simply because of how isolated it is and how we are a minority within our own bubble. And so when you really sit there and you look at a lot of these different standards, I think the reason there's also annoyance from a lot of people of color is that you don't even uphold the standards for everybody. You don't, yeah, and to sit there and say you do would be a lie. There's certain people that can say, "Well, I do this," and yeah, there's different deviations, of course. A fat person with a skinny person, a attractive person with an ugly person. Yeah, that's going to happen with the billions of people on this planet. I'm not surprised by that. However, there is something to be said about the prioritization of a particular race of people simply due to the fact of anti-blackness. Now, what makes it even more concerning is that this particular dude was sitting there having a relationship with this white dude, and I seen this in straight couples too, with black men and a white woman, and the white woman would sit there and have racist ass parents. The white dude had racist ass parents. The parents was racist. This is what also annoys the fuck out of me. If you have racist ass parents as a white person, and you're dating someone who's black as a way to sit there and say, I'm cultured and I'm not like the other ones, that's really a disservice to you. Really, the relationship in itself, really, and also a disservice to them. But mind you, if you're two consenting adults and that's what you want to do, no one else can sit there and tell you whatever the fuck you want to do. If you want to do that, girl, do whatever you want to do, love. You're gonna do it anyway. However, there's something that's so crazy to me that people would sit there and avoid someone who looks like them. They would avoid someone who has their features. They would avoid to the death of them. They can't do it. I can't do it. I can't be next to this. He reminds me of my cousin. How many other niggas remind you of your cousin, child? He reminds me, oh my God, I can't do it. I can't. But will sit there and somehow subject themselves to a relationship where they know that if you go to the potluck at the local country club, that some of the people might be whispering or mumbling under their breath, what is that nigger doing here? Or they might sit there and ask you, what do you do for a living, for the 100th time? Because they really want to know if you're one of those. And so at the end of the day, it's really tired to me. It's really tired to me when I really notice the prioritization of whiteness within the ideas of desirability, beauty, sexuality. I said, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? That's a problem to me, love. Now the girls are going to trivialize it. Some of the girls are going to be like, "I don't get what you mean. You just jealous because I don't get. You just mad because they're going to sit there and malfunction. They're going to do their little rant, their little spiel. But it's a problem, love. It's a problem. It's a fucking problem. It should never get to a certain point. It should never get to a certain point where one race is continuously being put on a pedestal. And the reason it frustrates me specifically for Black people, specifically for African Americans, the reason I damn near become a hotep, and the only reason I haven't fully gone over to hoteps is because I don't believe in the whole all white people are bad and white people should be committed to genocide. I don't believe in that stuff, and I also don't agree with the ideas of what the ideas of uh the other stuff where they're like homophobic and they're like, oh yeah, we should sit there and stop that because the white man made people gay. And I'm like, girl, no, the white man didn't do shit. Stop. We need to stop giving white people credit where credit is not due. See, that's also part of the reason why we keep dealing with this anti-blackness. When it comes to African Americans, because I am African American, right? Oh God. Oh God, I just get so annoyed, man. When it comes, I mean, fuck it, blackness, period. Because I found out that they had white people going to the continent of Africa, sitting there trying to abuse the people in low income areas and poverty to sit there and fuck them for money. To sit there and do all this stuff and be predatory against them and all other types of shit that they have been doing for I don't know how many fucking years since you had these old ass slave owners sitting there having little sex parties with their black slaves. I'm not going to let this shit go. Sorry. Now people are going to sit there and say, Alex, that's not right because we need to let race go. I always wonder why people say we need to let race go. Because the reason, and you may think this is childish, but the reason I would never let race go is because historically speaking, I wasn't the one who made it an issue to begin with. It was white. It was white people who made it an issue to begin with, darling. It wasn't us. We didn't do it, baby. Now, technically, you could sit there and say, but it was Africans who sold other Africans to the white people, and they brought us to America. Okay, sure, go off. But at the end of the day, still, the ones who kept constantly, because they had plenty of chances to see it within their heart to sit there and change. It was even Martin Luther King Jr. who said towards the end of the letter he made when he was in Birmingham, Alabama, and when he was in jail, he sat there and basically said, I'm paraphrasing, what's going on? What's the tea with the white people in the name of God? The white pastors and the white preachers and the white first ladies and the white people of the cloth who are supposedly my colleagues in the faith, yet want to sit there and be hush mouth when it comes to our protests. Yet want to be hush mouth when it comes to the different things that we're trying to do when we're sitting there trying to fight back against racism. Want to sit there and be hush mouth when it comes to X, Y, and Z. So when we sit there and we really sit there and look into the reality of that, it's not just going to be, well, technically, since, everyone's like around each other and like we're cool with each other, I guess we should just let race go. No, the fuck, we're not going to do that shit. No, you don't get to sit there and bring race into a situation. You don't get to sit there and make it a fucking issue for decades. And then seemingly because we progress so much so that we can now tolerate being around each other, sit there and say, well, I mean, I guess we should just let it go. The only way that's going to be able to be done is if one race is not prioritized over the other. But since whiteness will always be prioritized over everyone else, simply due to the way they condition everybody else to seemingly think that if you lighten your skin to become whiter, if you do XYZ to become whiter, that means you're more worthy, that's a fucking problem. It's so warped and backwards that even other white women will sit there, and I seen on social media, will sit there and say, oh my gosh, I thought I was pretty, but I'm not blonde and I don't have blue eyes. I said, even the white people are somehow getting affected by this weird warped version of white colorism. I said, I don't even know what the hell is going on. And so at the end of the fucking day, I'm not going to just let that shit go because of how deep that shit runs. That's a very insidious type of situation. That's a very insidious type of a byproduct of years upon years upon years upon years of conditioning towards a particular type of race. Fuck it. Towards what the reason I sit there and I'm hesitant, even though I always talk about other people of color, is people of color come against other people of color all the fucking time. And honestly, if we were to sit there and stick together and go against white people, it would be really bad for them. So if we just, I guess it helps, white people if we do stay against each other. Because imagine if we said, wait a minute. You want to know who the main culprit is? Imagine if we would have did that. It would have been really fucking bad. So whatever your race is, if it's not whiteness, whatever your race is, to sit there and hate yourself so much so that you need to sit there and strip the melanin off of your fucking skin, to sit there and hate your blackness, hate your ethnicity, hate your culture so much that you feel the need to assimilate so much so to whiteness, right? Because when you come to America, you're not trying to be everybody else. You're convinced that niggas over here, we doing too much. Yet every time I look on social media, a niggas is sitting there doing something, inspiring somebody inspired, some nigga from America or some nigga from Africa sat there and inspired something went viral, something's going on, some type of cultural reset. Yet somehow you would assume that by the way that we act towards each other and by the way that we act towards, our own selves, you would assume that we don't even really fuck, like we don't even see our value. So I find it just very vexing when it comes, taking it back specifically to the queer thing. I just really find it so unfortunate. I don't like it, right? And a lot of straight people don't get it. There is no, yes, there's a culture. Yes, we all in this bitch. Yes, we all gay. But let's be real, sweet pea. Let's imagine all the white twinks from LA going to a club randomly in Atlanta that's like a black freaknik for gay niggas. Imagine how that will work out. Imagine the issues that will cause. And some of you may say, no, it'll be fun. Will it? Will it really? Are we really all in this together? No, I don't think we are. Because at the end of the day, as much as I can sit there and say, yes, I love I love all gay girlies, right? I really do. I really do. I love all gay girlies. I fuck with everyone who's queer. At least initially, I fuck with you, right? Because I understand, especially we understand each other. But there is this specific type of issue where we keep prioritizing whiteness. And I'm like, when are y'all going to realize that y'all the prize? When are you going to wake up? Wake up! Wake up! When are you going to realize that you're the prize? When are you going to distance yourself from that need to be worthy by being next to a white body? I don't like this idea of whiteness being used as the way for black people to discover their sexuality other than heterosexuality, to discover their bisexuality or homosexuality. I don't like it. I think it's corny. I need them to stop. I need them to stop putting it in fucking films. We have enough. It's even more insulting to me. It's even more insulting to me when they will sit there and have a gay black character or a gay person of color run to a white gay character, and then that white gay character have a whole arc of being a bully or abusing that POC gay character, or using maybe their more knowledge of their sexuality because they know that the POC didn't really have the same privilege or whatever the fuck, some other type of warped concept. I'm like, y'all need to stop playing in my fucking face. Even when they sit there and do this shit in other areas where it's with Hispanic people, it's still Hispanic people who look fucking white. And so at the end of the fucking day, they need to get their shit together. At the end of the fucking day, they need to get their shit together. I'm really getting annoyed. You did it. It's cute. We love the interracial. Let's move on. You did it. It's cute. You did the interracial. Let's move on. You did it. It's cute. Let's move on. I don't want to see a white person with a person of color for the 100th fucking time, and then that be the only type of interracial relationship. I promise you, despite what it goes, and it's again, it's insidious because it's racial programming. Again, it's insidious because of what it does. It's insidious because of how it moves, how it operates. It's insidious because of what it preys upon. It's insidious because of how it moves. People do not understand The blatant attempt to manipulate the fuck out of people who have seemingly a lot, more worth in terms of culture, in terms of bringing things to the culture, especially of America, the world. It's insidious. And they want to do that. They didn't stop fucking abortion, girl. They didn't stop. I'm getting to conspiracy theory. They didn't stop that whole abortion thing because oh, we care so much about the we want to stop what's happening to children. If you want to stop what's happening to children, y'all need to be a little bit more tight knit on these religious institutions. The Catholic Church is still here, baby. How many decades upon decades upon decades upon decades of documented sexual abuse towards children has been seen from the Catholic Church alone, and motherfuckers want to sit there and start talking about how much they give a fuck about children? How many of you were clutching your fucking pearls when we were sitting there talking about maybe making stricter gun laws for gun control after kids was getting shot the fuck up, and motherfuckers were sitting there talking about my rights, but then motherfuckers want to sit there and start talking about they want to help kids and they want to save kids' lives and they want to do all this other extra shit. People are so disingenuous. It's so tired to me. Sleeping Beauty, she gave me a call. I said, Sleep. I said, Sleep. I said, Miss Sleep, what's going on? She said, I woke up out of my slumber for a good minute. I see what's going on over there. I don't know who they think they are, but that's my gig. I said, oh, I said, well, I don't know what's going on, Miss Sleep. I don't. Yeah, well, I need you to handle it, Alex. I said, I'll see if what I can do. They don't listen to me. I know that I know you're the one who's supposed to be sleeping. You're the one who's supposed to be tired. I said you're the one who's supposed. I don't know why they're trying to take your whole gig, love. I don't know who they think they are. I don't know. I don't know. But but yeah, shit's crazy, man.